the name Iyengar comes from 74 different priests appointed 1,000 years ago by a sage called Ramanuja. And Iyengar was what they were called, actually. It means the keeper of 5 rituals. So everybody in the world who has the name Iyengar can trace their ancestry back to one of these 74 different guys. The kings, the Wadiyar kings who have ruled Mysore for the last 400 years were also Vaishnavas, and they also interacted with that same lineage, and in some cases they belonged to it. So the king of Mysore himself, in an interview that I did, and that's the current king, Yaduvir Chamaraja Krishnadatta Wadiyar, he told me that the earliest contributions of the Wadiyar kings and the Wadiyar dynasty to Melkote was in about 1610. Those were his words. And so these great kings, this lineage of kings has been taking care of Melkote and helping to build temples and fund projects and charities there for the last 400 years, for sure. And so the interesting thing is, the Ashtanga Yoga that we're practicing today was really commissioned by the king Nalwadi Krishnaraj Wadiyar, and Nalwadi just means the third. So like the European kings, you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. They're all called Krishnaraj Wadiyar, and this king asked Sri Krishnamacharya to teach in the Maharaja's Sanskrit College, and at first it was Jagan Mohan Palace, and then he moved to the Sanskrit College. And it was the king who really helped all of this to happen, and who invited women to study, and all castes could study this yoga. And so the name of our upcoming documentary film is Kings and Yogis, because it really was Kings and Yogis that created this yoga that we're practicing. And that king, Nalwadi Krishnaraj Wadiyar, was a yogi, and he did practice yoga. And he was also a scholar and an amazing, very benevolent, powerful ruler who built dams and brought water. And Mysore, India, was actually the first town in India to have electric lights in the streets, because that king invested in electricity very early, and he was ahead of his time in so many ways, actually. And it was his father, I believe, who created the Saraswati Library and gathered all the different Sanskrit texts together, and not just from any one particular philosophy. Like you've got Advaita and Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita and different schools of thought that argue with one another. He wanted everybody to bring everything and to compile it, and so that very forward-thinking, magnanimous attitude, it existed in these Wadiyar kings. And you've got the Iyengars, who have a great history of public service and devotion to humanity and trying to serve their communities. And then you've got these kings who are very powerful and have a lot of resources to infuse into that pursuit. So I think that we really have both of these parties to think for the Ashtanga Yoga that we have today. And I'm just a person who started practicing as a teenager. And of course, I'm very grateful that I learned yoga. And I feel like it helps me and so many other people. So this is just the natural evolution of my curiosity to try to understand more about the yoga that I practice. And out of that, we want to make a film, Kings and Yogis documentary, and look at not just sort of 19th century yoga history, but the 1,000 years before that, and how it is that all of this, stage was set for this amazing yoga, which is really a gift to all humanity that came out of Mysore, and the kinds of socio-political ideas and climate that this yoga came from. So that's what we're exploring, and we're super into it.